Well, hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've been working on getting my eyes better. Went to the doctor the other day. They said they're getting a little bit better, but I really can't notice it. But I really can't build anything, can't see details, real to build anything really. So I'm just going to do some train videos on some of the trains I got and maybe a little history on them and stuff. Since everybody makes train videos on how to fix this and that, So. But I figured today I would do a video on this Aristo-Craft 422 bicycle type locomotive. I picked this one up a few years ago. I've seen them on eBay and I thought, well, they were pretty cool looking, So I watched around, got this one for, I don't know, I think like 25 bucks, but it was missing the motor. So I was like, well, let's look for a motor. And it happened to be like a month later on eBay, I found the motor that went in it. Somebody was selling the motor is, separate. So, I've got like 35 bucks in it maybe. So, and put the motor in. I had to put some other screws. They don't have the original screws holding the motor in, but I got it running, got it working, got a headlight and everything. And it runs pretty good. It really don't have much slow speed though. It's got an old Pitman style motor in it. It's a small one. So then we were running with some of these cars here. And I believe this is from the early 1960s, I think. So I'm going to turn it on and let it run around here a few times, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about it. Alright everybody, let's take a look at this little locomotive. The 422 bicycle type Aristo-Craft locomotive. It's all die cast. It's got some good weight to it too. It's kind of heavy for a little thing like it is. Philadelphia and Reading. All die cast. The tender doesn't do any electrical pickup or anything. It's got a drawbar on it, kind of like what Manitou's have. Their steam engines. It's kind of basically set up like them. If you go to work on it, it's got the little Pitman motor in there and all that. Basically the same thing, same design almost, but it's nice. So I had to add some different screws into it to put it back together because it was missing them, but they work great. And that back one I left a little long so I could hook that drawbar on and off easier, because originally it probably had a screw in there and this was supposed to stay connected to it, It just makes it harder to move around and put on and off the tracks over there. So I just did it like that. So, and it's got little wipers on off the frame on each one of the drive wheels that does electrical pickup. And it's right there. These two drive wheels do the electrical pickup. None of the other wheels do, I don't think. So, like going through switches and stuff, you got to make sure all that's wired up good. I was surprised it even went through the switches, but it did. But this thing's old. I think, what are these, about from the early 60s, so they're what, 70 years old or more. Yeah, it's probably about 70 years old, I think, from what I can find out about these things. So easy to work on, no big deal. If you need to take them apart and clean them, you know, you got all the valve gear like you do on some of the steam locomotives. And like I said, it's just a smaller Pitman motor in there with the gear on the, and then it's got a gear on the axle, and it just drives it basically like a Manitou or little Bowsers and stuff. So Tychos or whatever you want to call the Manitous. But pretty cool. Now we'll take a look at I got some articles in the old model railroad magazines over here, and show you. All right, everybody. Got a couple old magazines here from the 60s. Has a little bit of information about the Aristo-Craft line. They were first started in 1935, I think, and lasted till 2013, from what I can find about it. And they had the HO line back in the early 60s, mid 60s, I think. And then they also built some, I think, accessory stuff. But in 1988, they went to G-scale. Got big into G-scale, I remember. I remember being a kid going to Johnny's Toys down in Milford. They seen a lot of their G-scale stuff. That's about the time G-scale really came out, from what I noticed back in the 80s. And Aristo-Craft was one of the ones that were big into G-scale back then. And they said I think they went out of business in 2013. They were probably bought up by LGB or something, you know, because they're doing a lot of G-scale and stuff like that. But they were originally, the HO was made in, like, I think Tokyo, Japan, or somewhere in Japan, and imported. And I think it was imported through Polk Hobbies there in New York. So this ad here has got a few of their locomotives in there. You can see that price. Your choice at $13.88 or something. But those locomotives range from like $22.95 to $27.95 or something. And then they had, you know, the accessory lights and sold bulbs and all kinds of stuff in the day. So they even look like a little switcher. I've never even seen one of those. But they offered, you know, probably half dozen different locomotives, I think, in HO scale. So they don't have the bicycle type locomotive in this ad. But in this one, this is Model Trains Yearbook 1963, I believe. And I have a lot of old magazines. I love looking at them. But it has let's see, the Aristo-Craft ad right there. And it has a bicycle style locomotive right there. It doesn't have a price or anything, it just talks about it. And I believe they were offered in 2 different road names. Philadelphia and Reading, and I'm not sure what that one is. I can't really see it. But this is 1963. And I went through some older magazines from early 60s, late 50s, and can't find anything about it. So I think the 63 year 6 magazines are the ones I found that have any ads for them. So, and it's up to 66. So I don't think it was around too long in the HO scale stuff. But I love looking at these old magazines. Get a lot of good information out of these. Especially I'm a big fan, ever since I was a little kid, I was a big fan of Railroad Model Craftsman. More than the Model Railroader and the other ones that were around back in a long time ago. Because they actually teach you, or you learn stuff from these, because how the The older generation used to have to make everything because you couldn't go to the store and buy it or whatever. So a lot of these guys would build their own stuff, you know, locomotives, train cars, buildings, whatever. And it talks about all that kind of stuff in here. It's like diagrams and stuff, you know, scale drawings of all different rolling stock, locomotives, buildings, and all kind of stuff. So if you're in the scratch building or whatever, these old magazines are kind of cool to just look at and maybe get some tips and stuff. So, but that's all I can really find out about the Aristo-Craft, and that's the only locomotive I've got. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video on the 422 Aristo-Craft bicycle type locomotive. Philadelphia and Reading is the road name. Pretty cool looking little locomotive, I think. Doesn't go too slow. Had to, you know, run it kind of fast a little bit just to get through the switches on the layout, because the pickups are just on the two drivers, I believe, here. So I didn't want it to stall out going through the switches or anything. Even though they're all wired really good, still might be a little spot there. But pretty cool old locomotive made from the early 60s, I believe. So I'm going to get back into just making some short videos for now until I get my eyesight hopefully better. I don't know if it ever will be better, but hopefully get it back better. They say it's getting a little bit better, but I don't know. I got some projects I want to do, finish up. Also ordered something that'll be here probably October, November. I did a pre-order on a brand new locomotive. It's a big locomotive. I ain't gonna tell you what it is. So I've not bought a new locomotive since probably the 1980s. Everything I have is used train, eBay, train shows, stuff like that. I mean, some stuff at train shows and eBay I bought. It's probably still in the box, but you know, it's been 20 years old, you know. So I've not actually bought anything new from a train store since Johnny's Toys in the 80s. So, and that was the first edition Bachmann pancake motor DD40s, and ran like crap back in the 80s, and they still run like crap. So, but I got something big and awesome coming, I hope. So that'll be toward Thanksgiving or something maybe. But as for now, so I get my eyes fixed a little bit better, I'm just gonna just do some simple little videos on some of the locomotives or whatever. I got like some Tyco buildings, and like the mail building that drops the mail off, and some other things, and just see what we can do until I can get through this and finish up these dang locomotives I've been wanting to build. I got some River Austin ones I wanted to build, and a whole lot more of Indiana, Ohio's, and some other things. So, but please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.